Welcome back to the House of Faith and Fashion right here on the CW. Up next, we have published fashion and costume designer Evette Monique here to talk about sustainable practices and all about her unique sense of style because this show is all about style. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're celebrating fashion icon Iris Apfel this show because we all love her. I divided my bracelets because I just, we can't have enough jewelry. And I must say, I think she'd agree with your unique sense of style because unique sense of style is a must these days. So tell us how you arrived into the fashion industry.
So, in my community, in the Baltimore City community, we actually have a group of individuals that specialize in fashion design and fashion production. So, I actually reached out to one of the members. Her name is Caprice Jackson Garrett, and she's like our auntie of the fashion world in our community. We partnered together and had a few shows, and I ended up meeting more individuals in the community of fashion, and the rest is history.
Wow, Yvette, your designs have been celebrated for their uniqueness. Can you share with us the inspiration behind your distinct sense of style and how it translates into your work?
Yes, absolutely. So I can get inspired by movies, music videos. Sometimes it's world events where if something stands out, maybe hits my heart, and that just drives my passion to create from that.
So you're very in tuned to what's going on in the world, and that's part of your inspiration, which makes you very
Yeah.
sensitive and very smart. So don't take that lightly. But also, sustainability in fashion is gaining a significant attention, if not is the buzzword. How do you incorporate sustainable practices in your design, and what challenges do you face in creating environmentally conscious pieces?
Yes. So what I usually do is I'll take pieces or garments that were gently used and I'll upcycle them. And sometimes I'll use actually like materials that are either dead stock. And so I also just want to make people aware of, the importance of keeping our environment clean and safe. A lot of times, some of the designers aren't aware of that and they just tend to create fast fashion, which also contributes to, landfill overages, if you will.
Yeah. Yes. Fast fashion is fastly becoming extremely toxic because we don't realize how many things are disposed of and how many things that we have in our closet with that we don't use. So I totally understand what you're saying. But as a published fashion and costume designer, you've likely encountered various trends. How do you navigate between trendy and staying true to yourself? And sticking in that individuality window.
Yes. So I just kind of take that trend and I make it my own, whether it be something that's all low cut. I'm not that type of person that wants to go out in a low cut top. So what I'll do, I might just add a hint of lace, to cover it. But I mean, you still give you that image of a low cut, but just not exact, and not in your face.
I understand. So you're putting in your own practices within the trends that's going on. You're always putting your own spin on it, which is great. So many aspiring designers look up to you for inspiration. Can you share any key lessons or experiences that have shaped your journey as a successful designer?
Okay. Well, I know it is important to do your research, to educate yourself. If you're going to come up with a line of, like, say, painted gowns, like you want to paint a design on a gown, and that's your whole fashion line.
Hmm.
Make sure you research on like what types of paints you use, what types of dyes, making sure that it's environmentally safe, it's not toxic to your customers, because you don't want your customers you coming back to you with, like, say, I got a rash, what's up. And also being cautious of your customer, making sure that you're treating them right, because they are your cheerleaders. Like, if they have a good interaction with you, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go to their friends like, hey, I saw my girl, Evette Monique, she made this dress, you need to go to her. That is like your advertisement, and that's going to give you your business. So that's another best practice that you can use.
Great. So what stylists and designers are you following?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Of course, Ty Hunter. I'm also following Lana Ray. She's one of our big moguls for stylists here.
Hmm.
And there's a young lady named Elise of Creator Styles. I've worked with her. She's great.
Great. So in the world of fashion, collaboration is key. Have you collaborated with other artists or designers to further your commitment of this sustainable fashion direction that you're going?
Yes. So I've actually worked with a local designer. Her name is Brandy of Cycle Designs. And she actually is an upcycler like myself, but her take on her designs is that she takes clothes and she paints all over them. Like it's really fantastic how she goes. It's almost like a work of art. And
Yeah.
she got me to come out my box. Like she was like, don't be afraid to be outside the box and just do what you feel, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be great. Someone's going to love it. So don't ever be afraid. So I really value her for that.
Oh, that's great. That's a great lesson. Walk us through your inspiration, the idea, and then transformation to the finished product, especially when you're doing that. Like, where do you get your first thing? Do you talk to your client and say, "Okay, I see this jacket in your closet. Let's see what we could build on it," so on and so forth. So, if you could tell us a little, a little personal journey that way, that would be great.
Yes. So yes, we would take a jacket. Like say, for instance, I have a client. I have this jacket that's old. What do I do? I always just take the jacket, hold it up, and I just look at the color, and I kind of gauge that personality with from the customer. And
Mm,
I'm like, do you like pearls? Because I think pearls would be great. Let's add some pearls to it.
right.
And then let's take it in at the hip. I think to accentuate certain body parts,
Yes.
let's cut this off or add this lapel, and it's going to give you a different look, but it's also going to complement you at the same time. And the end result is a happy customer.
Oh, that's great. So, as a designer who's been recognized for pushing boundaries, what advice do you have to give our audience or any aspiring fashion stylist right now to keep within that? I'm going to say this is your fashion mantra of sustainability and innovation, but keeping your individuality.
Yes. So I always tell myself, don't be afraid. You got this. You can do this. Believe in yourself. Believe in your work.
So really it's have faith in yourself. That's your advice, which listen, you are speaking my language. And I had a great time with you today. And everyone that visits the House of Faith and Fashion is going to get my rapid 3 questions. So you ready?
Okay. Yes.
How much faith do you need to be in business?
Grandma told me faith of a mustard seed, but sometimes people might need more than that.
Okay, so a lot. I understand. Do you think that your talents are God-given?
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And
Woo.
please describe how a person should dress in a house of worship.
Oh, yes. Well, you definitely have to keep it classy,
Okay.
modest. And if you're a person of style, don't be afraid to add a little zhuzh to your style, but just like I said, keep it classy.
Add a little zhuzh. Yes, keep it classy, but add a little. You know what? That's your line. Keep it classy, but add a little zhuzh. Thank you so much for joining me. This
Love
was
it.
really special. But how can our viewers keep up with you? So tell us what you're about and where they could find you.
So you can find me on Instagram at Evette_Monique_couture. And I have a link in my bio, which will take you to my Etsy site. And there you can look over some of the pieces that I have done recently. And they can take a look and they can purchase if they like, or they can ask me questions, book a session, whatever.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Well, cheers to another episode of the House of Faith and Fashion, which has been iconic because it's all about icons and individuality and eternal relevance. And thank you, Iris, for just bestowing that upon us. Thank you. See you next week.